In this video we're gonna look at the middle game motive of the knight outpost. Have a look at this position here. White can move his knight to e5 and establish a knight outpost. We like knight outpost because the knight is positioned in the center and has a lot of squares that he can attack from here. And at the same time it cannot be attacked because this pawn cannot attack the knight, and this pawn has a hard time and will need some time to attack the knight as well. So that is a knight outpost and we like it. Now we're gonna have a look at what happens if black does not play properly against this knight outpost. So one way to play against a knight outpost first of all is maybe to play like this. White could maybe fortify the knight further, but then black could establish his own knight outpost here. And now let's say the game continues like this. Castle, f6, black can challenge this knight outpost and neutralize it, and now in this position black is probably totally fine. So, but if black doesn't know that and black chooses the wrong plan here, which can easily happen if your opponent doesn't know about the knight outpost as good as you maybe know, then this can be a very strong move and a very strong motive that allows you to rapidly build a winning position out of the middle game. So we're gonna have a look now at some moves here. Let's say, okay, this is a natural developing move, and white fortifies the knight outpost. And let's say now that black plays c5 and decides to go for a plan where he pushes the pawns here along the board, which might seem like a good plan, white sort of is attacking here on the king side, so black attacks here on the queen side. But this plan, as it will turn out, is too slow because white needs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 moves until he even attacks anything. And we're gonna look out now for a faster plan. We have this knight outpost here, and now we're gonna look for ways on how we can use this knight outpost. So let's make a few more moves here. Let's say white castles, it's a natural developing move. Black continues with his plan, c4. The white bishop drops back, and black continues with his plan. Okay, so have a look at this video and try to find a way how white can now make use of this knight outpost and capitalize on the opportunity that black has chosen too slow of a plan and white has this active knight and all those other active pieces. Pause the video here and try to find a good way for white to capitalize on this opportunity. Okay, white can use his active pieces to attack, and a good way to do that is to look for the weakest square in black's camp. And this square is here, the knight on h7. It's only protected by this knight here. And this knight itself is already attacked by white's pieces. So that looks like a juicy opportunity. We got this strong bishop here. And the right move is to bring in the queen into the attack and to go really quickly here for this attack, threatening already mate, and this plan becomes very dangerous very fast. Okay, let's have a look here. Black let's say black just continues with his plan, and now the queen is here on h3. And now, to illustrate why this plan of black here on the queen side is so slow, we're going to look at just a few moves that black can make here and see that white, after only a few moves out of this standard opening position, already has a crushing winning position here, thanks to his knight outpost and his active pieces here. Have a look at this position and let's see what black can do here. Let's say black moves forward with his plan. Pause the video and see what white can do here to absolutely crush black already. White can play knight takes d7. The powerful central knight, or knight outpost, now goes in for the attack. And have a look at this. If the queen takes, we actually can win this queen by this bishop takes h7. The knight cannot take the bishop because the queen will be lost. And if the king goes here, the bishop drops back and we have this nice double attack on the king and win the queen as well. So thanks to the central knight here, white already has this nasty move, knight takes d7. So black cannot actually move forward his pawn here, but black already has to react to this threat. And what can black do? The knight threatens to take on d7 here with this tactics that we have seen. So what can black do? Let's say black decides to take the knight himself. Then we have this nasty tactics here, which makes use of the fact that this knight here has to protect this h7 that we are looking at with the bishop and the queen. The only thing that black can do here basically is to try to block this diagonal. But then if white takes here on e4 with the knight, black has to recapture with the pawn. We have this nasty tactic here, attacking the queen. Now the queen cannot move, let's say, here, because it has to stay connected to the bishop. So basically the queen can only move to c7 or to e8. Either way, we take out the bishop, and we have this nasty double attack here. So white's pieces are just too active, and to deal with the threat of knight takes d7, black cannot take the knight here. So that already gets more difficult. What else can black do? Black could maybe play h6, okay, blocking this diagonal, blocking this way here, this the way of the white queen to the h7 square, and maybe at some point also attacking this bishop. Pause your video here and see if you can find how white can crush black's position now. Okay, white can sacrifice the bishop here on h6, and if black retakes, queen retakes, black has 2 pawns for the bishop. So if you say the bishop is worth 3 pawns, white has sacrificed 1 pawn. But more importantly, white has so active pieces that so that he can bring in this rook into the attack, and there's nothing that black can do against this, and white is absolutely crushing here. Okay, so what else can black do? Basically, black has to play g6 here, and this opens up all these squares, and the knight is weak here, and it's just absolutely nasty. Look at this position if you want, pause the video and find the best move for white here to crush black's position. Okay, white can play the pawn to f5, threatening to crush this pawn structure here and also making room for the rook to swing in and join the attack. And yeah, there's really only bad moves for black. Let's say black finally continues with his plan and attacks a piece here. Then white already can crush into here with the pawn, opening the line for the knight, which is now attacked from everywhere. And if black retakes with the h-pawn, for example, yeah, there's all sorts of nasty stuff. White can take here and then even sacrifice another bishop, give the check here, and then win this bishop back with dividends and have an absolutely winning position. And if black takes with the f-pawn, white can immediately invade the camp as well, and black is just absolutely lost. So let's go back to the very beginning of this position here. White establishes this strong knight outpost, and the only thing that black has to do now is to come up with the wrong plan of playing on the queen side here and not finding a better way to challenge this knight outpost. And that's already it. Black loses the game like this. Out of the middle game, white gets a crushing position thanks to this middle game concept of the knight outpost. White fortifies the knight outpost and also has the space for the rook, creates space for the rook, and already prepares the kingside attack. And now if black comes with this slow plan, white makes very easy moves. You know, if you think about white's plan, all the moves are very natural until white gets to this position, and then you got the most out of the middle game, you got a crushing position, and then you have to calculate, but you will find that in a position like this, already all the tactics are going to work in your favor. It might take you some time in the practical game to find the right combination. Of course, you have to calculate correctly, but your task is so much easier here because thanks to this knight outpost and this attack, you've chosen the right plan, and all the tactics are going to work out in your favor. That's it. Thanks for watching.